Okay. Hey, everybody, it's Patrice and Erin, and we are in New York City, and we are teaching class number 2, which is about Lead Accelerator in our command series. And right now, we actually had a discussion before the recording started, and we were talking about the daily tasks. So Erin's going to go through what they do, and I just wanted to make sure we were recording. So this is a Lead Accelerator class, and we are going to be talking about, because this is very interactive, someone in the audience really was asking this question, so we're sharing something new. So Erin, take it over.
Yes. So, don't steal this guy's information. You probably won't be very happy with me. But so this is just an example, right? Here's a contact. I'm going to go over so much of this in the database class, but not this part. So it's good that we're doing this. So I'm going to go into add an activity because I actually just texted with him today. He will no longer be in town for a pie. His loss. Apple pie for someone else. I'm going to save it, and now I'm going to go back into my taskbar. I'm going to hit that, complete task, but I'm not allowed to leave yet because I use a database so that I don't have to think, because I don't like to use my brain to think about simple tasks. So call to touch base about market, and I'm going to call him right for that new year. Or you know what? Maybe I'll even call him the end of this year. Perfect. Create task. And then all of these are in the tasks. And then, because I always forget about it, when you set up your opportunities properly, you will have opportunity tasks that you can assign to yourself or assign to other people. I clearly don't check this often, but these are done. This is a good reminder for me. But yes, contact tasks I use all the time. Okay.
I love that. So for those that just joined on, this is the Lead Accelerator class, and this is also very interactive. Again, this is something that we all just go back and forth with, and we're learning together as agents, and that's kind of the power, is that it's very natural and organic. So someone asked about the tasks, as you see, kind of wrote it in there, and how we use the daily tasks so that every day you know exactly what you're doing, and Erin does do this already. So she just was showing that. So you got a little extra today. So, and I did as well, because that's something that my team is just about to start. So I'm so grateful that Erin shared that with us. So today is class number 2, as we spoke about. The third class, just to remind everyone, is going to be on December 5th. We're not going to have anything next week because of the holiday. So happy Thanksgiving. Lots to be grateful for. Lots of reason to touch our database, ironically. Lots of great things to share. So December 5th will be the referrals class. And then the last class will be the database, which Erin is teaching us. And it's really how we're going to do the MREA principles at a very high level, using our database, building relationships, and to cultivate the kind of business that is simple, easy, as Erin just talked about. There's lots to think about in our world. Let's just make this help us. So we're going to see that, and that's on December 9th. Excuse me. Thank you, Karen. So Friday is December 4th. And December 9th is a Wednesday. So next class is December 4th. Thank you, Karen. Thank God you're here. So awesome. So again, very interactive. Make sure that if you guys have questions, you can put it in the chat. Sometimes I won't see the chat because I only have one screen and I'm going to be having some notes. So if you would like to interrupt, just kind of unmute yourself and say something, and we're happy to communicate, because we definitely want this to go back and forth. We're going to talk a little bit about I share a little bit, I kind of said last week, about why we started with Command and how we kind of fell into the Lead Accelerator opportunity and how great it is. We're going to talk about some of the campaigns that we do use, that we're going to use, and then Erin is going to go through running an interactive ad. So you'll really get to see. If you'd like to do this yourself, you can minimize your Zoom screen and pull your command up as well. You're going to want to have a credit card to click through. And we just found out that you may need a KW logo or some sort of a logo, because that's required in the ad. That was something that I'd never seen before that we just found out in the last class. So Erin, I'm going to let you start off a little bit and share anything, and I'll mute myself for a moment.
All right. Well, thank you, Patrice. You guys don't know this, but Patrice, well, Karen, you do. Bonnie, you might. Patrice is actually in Vegas right now, taking her son. I won't tell you how old her son is turning, because you'll never believe it. But she's taking time out of Vegas, the playground of my dreams. I'm just kidding, to be with all of us and teach us this. That's how important this is. So one of the things that I want to be super clear about is that Lead Accelerator is just another opportunity for us to build the data within our database or our data bank. And the reason for this is because if you've ever listened to Gary Keller speak, the person who has the most data at the end of the day is the winner. That's it, right? Why does StreetEasy and Zillow hold so much above our head and ask for 35% or 25% for leads here in New York City? Because they have the data, right? So if we can collect as much data as possible, and that is data on people, then we can control our business more and we can get more profit per transaction. Great. So for me, it was very similar to Patrice. COVID happened and it was like, oh, crap, I'm going to try to cut expenses as much as I possibly can. And one of the things is I've always been toying with Command, didn't really use it, not really sure what to do. So it was a matter of moving over from Infusionsoft into Command. And then especially during COVID, it was, okay, great. I had a bunch of deals fall through, as I know a lot of people did. So as I watched that money go down the sink, it was like, all right, well, what can I do now since I can't go into apartments? I can make calls, but I can't cold call and prospect the way that I used to. What can I do in order to continue building the database, right? Because that's what we need to do every day. So that's when, thankfully, our ALC here ended up doing this thing where they, everybody tried different kinds of ads. I'm challenging you to do this. And by the way, and my team knows this, I only get things done if you hold me accountable. If you're like, do this for yourself, I'm like, heh. But if you're like, do this by next Tuesday or else, I'm like, oh no, I can do it. So we all did it. We learned best practices and what we could do. And that's how I learned how easy it was to make contacts and refer business to other places, and also keep people in the database for future business. And I think just because it's so important to growing our business, that's why we have it in here. Take it away, Patrice.
I love that. I was actually just typing it in. The only reason that I did my first ad is because our ALC made me do it too. And that was a year ago. And I actually did get, I think I got a seller lead actually on my first one. And I just was so not ready. I didn't think I called him. I was freaked out. I was like, oh my God, that happened. And then I kind of just got caught up in life. So it is interesting. I don't know if you guys know, but Erin and I are actually peak performance partners. So we do hold each other accountable. And it's really neat to admit that, right? And that's why we have it, is because we all work better from the outside. So, a nice, interesting idea. And we kind of spoke last week that you could choose an accountability partner from this group and say, okay, you know what? We're going to talk about a lot of stuff and a lot of potential ads and some ideas. You guys can certainly tweak them and find out what works better. And so it may be nice to have a partner or to form a little bit of a group and share that data, because I'm sure you've heard Gary say it, data is the key, right? And when he said that word a few years ago, everybody was kind of laughing, right? And now that's all we hear about, is the person that owns the data has the most power. And 35% referral fee is a lot of money, right? It's a lot of money on a $200,000 deal. And you guys are in New York City. So I'm guessing that it's an awful lot of money on a $2 million deal. So this is definitely a great way to take some control of your business. And also we've seen agents, and Alex, you talked about last week how some agents are getting discouraged right out in the business. And part of it is because there's such high highs and such low lows. And again, when you do this, you're taking that control and you're really having more people to talk to. And that's something I don't know how many new agents or experienced agents, but people ask us all the time, like, who do you get to call? And no one knows. And what a great way for us to be able to find something. So I'm just going to lead right into the numbers. Again, Erin spoke about the same reason, the reason that I got into, go ahead.
I'm going to pause for 1 second. What if each of you, we're going to ask you to be accountable to doing one ad and bringing all of your numbers next week? Oh, 2 weeks. Sorry. 2 weeks, yeah. Thanksgiving.
I love that.
Okay.
Can you guys do the thumbs up or the thumbs up button?
2 thumbs up, 2 thumbs up.
Awesome.
I like it.
This is being recorded, by the way. So just so you know, talk about some accountability. And we have people that watch these from all around the world. So lots of accountability here. So thank you, Erin. Yeah, I love that. I think that's really neat. And again, the cool thing about this class is you're hearing our story. Erin and I didn't go out and go, oh my God, I want to build my business with Lead Accelerator. We had a challenge, which was COVID. We had a challenge of we needed to cut our budget so that we could keep our staff and make sure that we were able to grow. And we're supposed to be business people running this as a business. And so we made a strategic choice. And in doing that, we found that the Lead Accelerator was a very easy opportunity for us to get leads at a very low cost. These are leads. These are not always clients. We're not expecting when we put this ad. I mean, we're hoping that they'll buy the house, But as Erin pointed out in the last class, statistically, that's not normally what's going to happen. This is the bait that we're putting out there so that we can put them on our hook and put them in a database and build a relationship with it. So we started doing this for my team about 100 days ago. So I'm going to share with you the stats that we have. So we've done 93 campaigns since then. We spent about $1,905. I've got 655 leads that came from that. And then we also have 200 additional engagements. So more people are seeing it. And you'll see, actually you won't see on mine, but when I looked at my screen this morning, I think it said I had 47,000 impressions in the last 100 days. So, right, I mean, obviously, partly on the Lead Accelerator, we're getting names so that we can be proactive. But as you can see, I'm also getting my face out there to a lot of people, right, in my own market center, in my area, because the ads that we're creating, these are people, because it's Facebook, that live near our territory, because they're specifically saying. So 47,000 people within 30 to 50 miles of me are seeing my name over and over again. So obviously that's really powerful as well. And that's something that, you know, we can't always compute. So my leads right now are 291 is about the average. First of all, that's very inexpensive, right? Second of all, last month they were about $1.90. So for some reason our ad is less profitable. My point by saying that is because you can see it in the system, and I think you'll probably see that when Erin shows the different ads, it'll show you which ones are more profitable, so that, again, looking at data, you can make your best decision and you can tailor it, right? When you're seeing that one's getting more clicks, you maybe want to look at those ads and you can refine it back and forth. And again, that may be something that could be really interesting for us all to share that data and kind of get better with. So do you guys agree that those are pretty good numbers? Do you feel like that's something that you can make that investment in your business?
Yes, of course.
Right? $3 a lead, you're like, oh, great. And I want to go back, and we say this over and over again, and we talked about it last week. When we're getting these ads, we're using the MREA principles, right? So we're assuming that you're going to be touching them 36 times a year, and you're going to be tracking these numbers for about 2 years. So most of those big teams, when they're talking about these numbers, they're talking about over a 2-year cycle when they're coming up with their ratios. So, you know, don't assume because they're not calling you on day one that they're not a good lead. You won't ever know if they're a good lead or not until you've touched them 72 times. Up until then you haven't quite done your job properly, right? So they didn't have that opportunity to grow this relationship with you. Not to mention, it's okay if they don't buy. They probably know someone. Housing has just gotten even more popular with the pandemic, right? So it's likely that they know dozens, hundreds of people. I think they say the number is that everybody knows 250 people, right? So they probably know 250 people that may or may not be buying or selling in the next year or two. And what I found and what I've seen in Bold is that when you talk to 100 people, statistically, 1 to 3 of those are interested in doing some sort of real estate business or know someone close to them that will in the next year. So again, I just want to point out those numbers because you will be making phone calls to everybody. And so there's a challenge there too. So that's the numbers that we've had. Erin, do you want to share any of that information before we get on to the next section? Anything on
No, because I don't know my numbers.
Perfect.
But I do know my cheapest leads were $1 and my most expensive lead was $10 a lead. I will not post that ad again.
But isn't that neat? It's kind of interesting to figure out. So,
you know what, actually, I think a lot of it is on Facebook, I'm finding the lower price points are doing a lot better. Also, during the first COVID shutdown, you guys, it was like the cheapest ads I've ever put out. I think if people were at home and they're probably on their phones more looking at stuff and clicking on stuff. But I know in the beginning of COVID, when, you know, we were forced to do ads, it was amazing getting referrals, leads, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It was quite powerful.
It's neat. And you guys are in a marketing business, right? I mean, we're literally saying that we're taking on someone's listing, right? A multi-million-dollar listing, and that we're going to market it for them. So this is definitely something that data, as we get better and start paying attention, we're really only increasing our value proposition, aren't we, right? Because we're becoming better and we need that data to get out there. So imagine going to a listing presentation and saying, just so you know, Mr. Seller, I had 47,000 impressions in the last 100 days. I clicked on this many people and we've been tracking, and we realized that ads that have these words, and actually Erin shared with us this morning, emoji ads actually do better, right? So we know, and I'm actually tracking data on dozens of ads so that I can do the best job for you. So again, just kind of squeeze in there. Isn't that a great thing to add and really promote yourself? That, to be quite frank, other brokerages don't have this information.
Well, and I think that's the biggest thing, right? That's a huge value add for us when we go to sellers, because it's Mr. Seller. We have a proprietary relationship with Facebook. We are the only brokerage to have this, which means from the second I leave and I get back to my computer, within 15 minutes, I can have 5 campaigns running for your home. How does that sound? Nobody else has this, right? Huge value add for our sellers. I think a lot of marketing is to get the listing, or a lot of Facebook, I should say, specifically, is to get the listing because it's a value add for our client, right? The more eyes on it, the better. And then part of it also is to try and get leads, because again, statistically, you're not going to find that specific buyer, but you will find potential buyers, right? And I also just wanted to mention really quickly, Patrice did bring up a great thing. These people are not going to buy tomorrow, but hopefully they will buy at some point in time. I don't know about you. I'm not getting out of the business tomorrow. And it really is the long-term game of this, right? But if you start doing this, I'm grounded from doing them, which I'll explain in a minute. But I'm plugged into my phone, so it keeps beeping. If you just stick with this, it's going to be like that hockey stick effect, right? And eventually it's just going to take off just like your business. So just keep that in mind. I don't want anybody to get overwhelmed by hearing 2 years, because I'm like, oh my God, 2 years. And I'm like, you've been in this for 9 years. You're fine.
Yeah.
So
I've been in COVID for 9 months, right? I mean, imagine, right, just having started that. 2 years goes by really quickly. And I think we're not expecting for COVID to be officially over. So what a great time. You guys were not able to commute in the same way that we were before. We actually, I think the cool thing about COVID, I think we screen people a little bit better. So you're not running around wasting your time with people quite as much. So what else do we have to do? You know me, I'm always really direct. It's like, what else are you doing? You guys need to be making these phone calls, and the time is absolutely going to fly. So I think that's really valuable. Yeah. And again, we just keep getting better and better at this. It's actually makes perfect sense.
I love it. Should we get going into an ad?
Do you guys want to do an ad? Yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah.
Erin, you
all right.
Screen share.
So I'm going to screen share. So I'm grounded from doing any more ads until I get everybody from Infusionsoft into Command, because there's a little over 500 people that I still have to move over. So the team is helping me, but we can't call new people until we've called everyone we already have relationships with. So, okay. And this is the smallest. See, it's only 40 in my task list for today. So clearly I am ahead of all of my stuff. Okay, campaigns is here. Can everybody see my screen? Yeah, we're good. Perfect. Look at, I've spent nothing as of lately. As I said, I'm not allowed. I'm fired from ads. But we did a lot before. So let's go over it. So you have the green thing in the corner, social ad. This is what we're going to focus on, not direct mail, email, search ad. I actually don't know that one. I think it's a newer one. Maybe not. Social post. No, we can make our own social post. I don't make them through here. Social ad.
And Erin,
so
I have a little note on some different ideas. I'm just going to tell everybody, I'm going to post that in the chat too. So you can kind of have a few ideas of what to look at. So make sure you see that for later. And then I'll let Erin get to the ad.
So what do we want to focus on? Do we want to attract buyers? Probably not brand awareness. Advertise listings, which I feel like is the same thing as attracting buyers, talent. I don't really have anything for talent. How about we advertise a listing? Yeah?
Yes.
Woohoo! For you in New York, I highly suggest you give it the name and the apartment number, because our goal in this city is to sell many in one building. Okay. I have always had better stats with Facebook than Instagram, but this unit is a very millennial unit. So we'll try both. All right. So in New York City, we're going to try this. Sometimes it will show up. Sometimes it will not. All listings, 205. And this is because we don't have the MLS, and sometimes the listings are fed in, but honestly, not always. So let's just try. 205 West End Avenue. I'm gonna see if it's there. Oh my gosh, there's so many. Okay, let me just write in.
And you guys, you can see that we're clicking through, and you can see that Erin and I are real agents, and this is how my class is as well. So I love actually, Erin, that I love when it takes us a little bit longer, because I think it's even more effective for our classes actually, for everybody to see how simple it is. So I'm glad you're going through that little step.
Yeah. So, and this is kind of also why I wanted to build it. Patrice is amazing at building them, but because she's not going to run into the issues that we have in the city. So turns out the listing just isn't in here, right? So we're just going to have to do this a different way, and that's okay. All right, add a listing. Just kidding, I tried that. Add text. Oh no. Sorry, push the button too soon. Main copy. So again, I just being recorded. I'm going to stay in fair housing. You want to keep in mind the apartment. This apartment is a convertible one. It is renovated to the nines. It has the most beautiful view. I will probably not try to write things about watching your children grow up in this small home, right? Does that make sense? It's like you have to remember the demographic that you truly believe is going to buy it. And I very much so believe in really pinpointing that and really going towards that. That doesn't mean we're talking about race or anything like that in here. None of that. But again, like I'm not going to use verbiage that is geared towards, you know, families of 5 for a junior 1. Yeah? Okay. So I'm going to start with hashtag grammable, because it is. Hashtag grammable views. The best.
Wait, what's grammable mean? I'm like, wait.
Like Instagrammable?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
That's what that means, Erin?
I have some friends that are very cool, and I asked them if in the description I could put Instagrammable, and they're like, no, Erin, grammable. And I was like, oh, I'm just not that cool. So I learned that. Don't feel bad if you didn't know that. Okay. Hashtag grammable views.
Hashtag I'm cool next to it so that people will really know. Feel special.
Right? Hashtag grammable views. Hashtag work with me. Hashtag grammable views. Wait a second. And I'm trying to like gear this towards who I think is going to buy it. The best to, grammable views. The best views to work from home to. Yes, I will edit this. The best views to work from home to. Brian, stop leaving us and coming back in. Okay. This junior 1. This junior 1. How do I say something fun about sunsets in here? Okay, include, you know what, I lied. I'm actually gonna try something different. Why don't we try doing something a little bit more bullet pointed? Like doorman, gym. What do they call that? Oh, private park. Got renovated. Direct sunset views. Need I say more? Well, snotty. Nope, I'm not going to say need I say more. I'm actually going to say click below to learn more.
That's better.
I mean,
yeah,
a little sassy today, guys.
Give her feedback if you think of something that she should post. We just Sorry, we have two speakers in here, so I have to stop. But we just did the class and it really helps to have feedback.
Erin, you should not end a sentence with a preposition. So the very first thing to come, it's like ending a sentence with the word from or to or whatever. That's not as grammatically correct. So I like the idea that you went to bullet points. Could you say
the best views to work from home to?
Right, like the word.
What would you like me to, the best views to work from home?
Perfect home working views or something like that, just to not have the preposition at the end of the sentence. I don't know that I have a better fix yet. Because in proper English, you would say with which to work from, you know, or something like that. And we never talk.
Yeah, but in perfect English, you also wouldn't put hashtag grammable.
Really?
I'm just teasing. Okay, the best views for working from home. How about that?
Yes, better. Yeah.
So Donna will get an A in English.
And French,
all right.
actually. She speaks
Click below to learn more. And then this is where I learned this from a command class in from Abrams and Lab Code Agents. It was like an arrow, point that they really suggested to use emojis. Right, click below to learn more.
Actually, in the command?
I didn't hear that, I'm sorry.
Are those emojis in the command? Because I used mine from somewhere different. I didn't even know that was an option, actually.
I don't even know how to get them from somewhere else. So you are 30 steps ahead of me. Yeah, there's a little smiley face here. And then I just used that.
That's cool.
Hashtag, I did not know. Learning something new every day.
I love it. Okay, so we obviously see this comes up. And you know what? I think maybe what I'll do is I will change this to the description, right? Because then it'll go on the bottom. I feel like it just makes more sense.
I love that. So you guys see how she's actually got the preview on the side. So you can see in each area. And it is ironic that the main copy, it's almost in reverse order a little bit, it looks like, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right? Okay, brand new, got Reno.
By
Upper
the way,
West Side,
I never saw that either until
Junior.
now. So I love that you're teaching that.
I'm trying to make it look pretty. Okay, there we go. I feel like that's okay. Are we happy with this text?
Mm-hmm.
Right, because you just want to keep it short and sweet. You want to attract the people that you think are going to buy it. Okay. Save, add text. Images. Where are Bernadette's images kept for 205? Okay.
And you guys, I don't know. I'd love a discussion on this. I've heard before
Say that again.
you actually get more response with a photo than a video when you're trying to do lead capture. So does anyone know on that? I know I've only ever done the images.
I will let you know shortly because we just had a video done of this one and we got a 30-second version and a 2-minute version, and we're going to take that 30-second version and try some ads. So I should have information for you by next time.
I love that.
Thank you. Okay. Oh, look, that's Patrice's happy face.
And by the way, the reason I think that I heard that that the photos work better than the video was because we're trying to get them to click for more information. This is all about leading them, right? We're only giving them bait. We want to leave them wanting more. And so that's why I wonder about that is, and again, you have the 30-second video, so that still will only be a teaser so that you can get to the 2-minute video, right?
Yeah.
I think all of these little things, and again, you guys will all get better with data and you guys will see what works better in your market and what your demographics are, right? And a luxury buyer or seller may be more attracted to a different ad than someone who's a first-time buyer because we're all different. There's this book called Invisible Influence, and it really talks about, depending on someone's lifestyle, their education, how they really do make decisions differently. And again, the only way that we're going to figure out the best for ourselves is by tracking that data. And oh, by the way, isn't that awesome that we actually have a system that allows to do that?
My headphones, you can use my headphones.
Mm-hmm. No, that's such a good point.
And Karen just asked a question. I don't know if you could see it.
No, the Bluetooth.
What is the question?
Do you create ads for coming soon? And I'm just going to say, because it's in our area, our board just came up with our MLS board where we can't advertise quite as much as we used to for coming soon. So we will always try and find ways around doing coming soon ads. And I think they're the most valuable because everybody wants something that no one else has access to.
Thank you so much.
We're constantly talking about a value
Thanks.
proposition. So we absolutely do as much legal advertising as our coming soons as we can when we're prepping it, because we want those buyers to know that we have something that's unique that no one else has. So I absolutely would say find some way to do one for coming soon. And again, we do our staging ones. So it's a nice way to say that, once your coming soon is on the MLS, definitely run the ads. Again, it'll be special to those buyers. So that should be even more popular than something that's already on the MLS, in my opinion.
So see, I'm human and I don't know what I'm doing.
What you didn't get to see is I just was human on the last class. But you know what, Erin, you left a tiny bit before, and some of the people really appreciated, going through and seeing that this is really real. So I'm hoping that you New Yorkers appreciate it the same way.
Very true.
I think I just deleted everything I did. No, I actually have no idea what I just did. Guys.
There is a save draft button. And of course, too late now. I've already made that mistake before when you're doing your ad. So because I always lose my data, I'm constantly doing save draft.
Actually, hold on. Nope, it's not there.
There it is. Oh, no, that's not it.
No. All right, I can do it super quick though. Don't worry.
I'm guessing that everyone on this, since they're doing it for the first time, is glad to see that, because now they may not make that same error.
Now you know what not to do.
Erin,
we'll make that error. We will.
It's in a section where you're looking at where you see apartments and stuff on Instagram, or does it go to your store? Where does it go?
No, so it'll actually show up as an ad, like when you're scrolling through the posts, it'll be an ad in there.
Okay.
Yeah. I know this is there. Nope. All right. I'm going to get back into that in a second, but let me see how to actually configure this. So select media for campaign, add images, upload images. That's it. Do not bring them in from designs. Just so you all know. Let me make that mistake for you.
Erin, were the pictures taken like where you could see the city? Were those from inside? Was that part of the views of what you could see?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, all of it was in the unit.
Nice.
I just want to try to drag and drop.
And while she's doing that,
I have the high res. Sorry, guys. Oh, yeah. Do you want to go over some of the other options of what we were talking about?
Well, I just was going to say some of the stuff that we spoke about, right? So she's doing a posting for her own listing, right? So she has high resolution photos. I kind of wrote some things in the comments. So while she's doing that, and Erin, stop me when you're ready. You can go and take photos for yourself, selfie in front of the video, right? A couple of those, and say, this is my favorite house on tour this week. Who's curious about the best view in Manhattan? This is my favorite house for the week. Who's curious about the best opportunity I've seen? Who's curious about the lowest price per square foot? Who's curious about the highest HOAs, right? I wonder what comes with this. You could do anything that you want. And again, it's kind of one of those things that people like to see professional if they're serious. A lot of people like to see real. So you want to have your personality come out. You want to have those shots that aren't perfect, because people are more likely to trust you sometimes. So when you don't have a listing and you're doing ads, make it look real and genuine. You don't want to look like it's a sales ad. So, and again, that's something that you can play with as well. Using someone else's listing, make sure you're getting permission from them if you're going to use that. Although I said in our class that if I'm doing a selfie in front of it and just saying, this is my favorite house on tour, I don't ask for permission, but I always do reference either the company or the other agent's name when it's someone else's, just so that I can be sure that I don't get into trouble. But as we spoke about in the last class, people, of course, they want to sell their listings. So I'm sure they'll be very grateful if you called them and said, hey, I see your house didn't sell in the last month. I would love to put it on Facebook. I want to find a buyer. Yours is it's a really cool house. You're a great agent. I'd love to work with you. And I'm happy to spend my own money to make that happen. I'm glad you asked. Keller Williams is the kind of company where we all support one another. Let me tell you more about that. Sorry, I'm the growth chairperson. I had to squeeze in one of those scripts.
I love it. Okay, so if you guys notice, just again, you can learn through my pain. No, I'm just kidding. This isn't painful at all. But so my high res and my low res won't work. So a really great way to get around that is to go into your listing online and just do like a copy, download, or whatever the photos that way through either Real TMX, because sometimes, or I think through Real TMX is actually going to be the best bet, because sometimes through Street Easy, if you download one, it actually takes the map instead of taking the photo. So KW in New York City, that is a really good little thing.
That's good to know. And so Erin's doing hers through, what's it called, Street Easy? Because New York.
Street Easy's our leading search engine. They also own Zillow. So it'd be like the Zillow.
Yeah, so they do that because they don't have the same MLS system that some of the other areas are. So for those of you from that are not in New York City, from other parts of the country, you may be able to click on your button and pull it out from the MLS a little bit different than what Erin's doing. So talk with your market center. They should be having even more detailed class. Again, Erin and I put this together to inspire everyone to give it a shot and to show that how regular it is and how simple, even when we have like a little thing back and forth. But make sure to talk with your market center if you are from a different region, because it will be a little bit different than some of the things that Erin's doing for us as well. Yeah,
that's a good point. And then, some of the other classes that we spoke about that I think are fantastic are like, or not classes, ads, buyer's guide. I think that pulls in a lot of people, right? Like click here if you would like to learn more about the buying process. So you have to make sure when you are offering people things that you are actually giving them that thing that you're offering, or you're calling them immediately to give them what you're offering, right? Definitely. What were some of the other classes that we spoke about?
Photo, right?
Or not classes?
So you just did a right click and a save as for the photo and then put a little, created a little folder, right?
Yeah, so we're going to see how this works, but I have faith. Third time's a charm. Yeah. I think that's how it always works.
So Adelaide just asked, is it better to upload PNG files instead of JPEGs? Oh,
such a great question.
I don't know. Like, does anyone know that's on here? Because I think that's definitely.
I always use JPEGs. Like I don't really know what PNGs are.
I know, I'm like, whatever I have, I don't even know actually.
Oh, they're working.
Hi, this is Adelaide. I always use PNG for everything because usually the files are lighter and the resolution is better.
So, and by the way, Adelaide's from France, by the way. So if you have in France, I didn't even realize that was you until you were speaking. I'm so glad that you joined us actually. So yay. And you actually you gave me an app that had really great software for kind of changing the ads a little, the photos, right?
Yeah, I use many of them. I use Darktable, I use GIMP, I use many different softwares to change photos, but I always upload in PNG because it's lighter, it's better for Facebook, it's better for everything usually.
And by lighter, do you mean
Let's give it a try.
Is lighter,
yeah,
or
the files are lighter, the weight of it is lighter.
Oh, so. I love that. So PNG is best. That's so good to know. Because
that is very good to know.
Sometimes there's a problem and sometimes it's so simple.
And it's always good because with PNG, usually you can have like the back of the photo, you can have it clear, without the white around it. So it's just a guess.
No, that's really good to know. Really quick with my last photo, I'll just tell you what I'm doing. So I'm clicking on it. Right. And then just so you know, because I've done this before, I haven't made all the mistakes in the past. Now I have. But after you upload that one image, immediately don't upload all of them right away. You have to go one image by one image, preview and crop image. And then, you have to move this so that it fits their measurement requirements and then save image. And then it will go on here and you can move them around however you would want to. Like, I think I might put the view second. All right, and then.
And I loved seeing how the ad was changing while you were doing it. I didn't realize that happened. So this is great.
Add media, save ad media. Oh, let me go back. I'm going to do this super, super, super quick. Okay.
And you guys, while she's doing that ad copy that we had before, we had discussed it kind of in detail on the last class when we were in California. And we were just talking about, again, different ads that you can use as bait. So right now she's using her listing, she's moving forward. She gave a couple of ideas. Anything that you want to say, like five things that you need to know about buying in a pandemic, 5 things you need to know about selling in a pandemic, 5 things you need to know about a probate sale, right? You can do anything that you want. It's definitely still best to add some sort of a photo. And Erin shared Shutterstock is a great option that you can go in for photos. If you don't have your own, you could do the New York skyline. You would buy something that you would then own. So look at something that's compelling. Again, people are going to want something that has a wow factor, whether that's a really good wow factor or really yucky wow factor, something that stands out that's going to make them click on you. So, you know, you want to make sure that you have the different level. First, you catch their eyes, then you catch their interest, and then you're hoping that we'll catch their data, right? I'm going to have to save that. That's a good little sentence, right? Hashtag.
Oh,
Hashtag
I like it.
Grammable.
That was so grammable. That was so grammable. You actually are the hashtag queen.
She is the hashtag queen. Yeah.
I love hashtag.
Start putting that hashtag.
I'll put it on mute because it looks like Erin, you've kind of got us back on there. So, and again, remember, Erin.
Oh, that's okay. I'm just going back.
More people are more likely to click on emojis.
Do they have a volleyball court in that
So
backyard?
definitely want to add all those things. And does anyone else have more comments or suggestions on some of the best ads we could do?
Okay.
Patrice, I have a question.
Oh, that's okay. Don't remember.
When Erin writes the hashtag grammable view, what does that mean?
So that means it's Instagrammable, kind of like a must see. It's worth seeing, right? Is that what you'd say?
Yeah, like the sunsets in this apartment are maybe the most gorgeous sunsets I've ever seen in my life. So, right, like people that use Instagram a lot, those are the people that could potentially buy this apartment. I think that's very much who would buy this apartment. So yeah, just trying to match their language.
Okay, so you're just saying, oh, if you live here, you have these great shots that you can take of yourself or your friends and Instagram them to the world.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, and always matching the demographic. Again, she spoke about a little bit, right? So we want to do our searches and we really want to think about strategically, who are we marketing to and who are you going to get? So if she's marketing, you know, she's in New York City, it's a great place that someone's millennial, you want to speak with their language. If it's someone who's luxury, you want to speak to those what are the kind of words and phrases that may be really popular for that demographic that you have? And then the other thing is on the ad, of course, you really want to make sure that you're never violating any fair housing. So you don't say this is a great place for families. That doesn't mean that you won't think inside and think about the language that may be attractive to a family though, right? So you still get to use some sort of strategy in your business. However, you're certainly never excluding anyone, right?
So Erin, are you guys, when you're creating this, are you creating it to put on Facebook and then doing this hashtag thing that says grammable, or because you think this might be somebody that would see it on Instagram, right? Are you going to share it on Instagram or both, or what's your thought with this particular?
Yeah. So in the beginning, I chose Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah. But so actually that's perfect because we're right back to that part. Thank you for the segue, Donna. You didn't even know it. You were segueing me perfectly. I'll send you a $5 gift card in the mail. So it's going to go under my account and it's going to go under my business account because it has to go under a business account. Oh, look at this. You can now do an Instagram ad or on the Instagram story. That's actually really great. And I'm going to tell you this. So, I'm torn because this looks like it's going to be better as a post. It just does. However, stories get seen more than posts. So I'm going to click story and I'm going to understand that this might not get me the results that I want on Instagram, but you know what? I'm going to try my hardest.
And at $2 to $3 a lead, it's worth doing, right? Because she's going to discover this information. So if she's posting the same ad and the same text on Facebook, Instagram, and the story, it'll be really interesting to see kind of that data. So, and again, remember early on for the people that joined us a little bit later, we did have some thumbs up where people said they'd be accountable and everyone will do an ad and come back and report at our next session, which will be December 4th. So Erin, we're going to expect you to do the same.
Oh, you betcha. I'm going to have like 5 by then. Okay, so I want to redirect people back to this site because it's my ad, right? And they can click to save it. They can ask to see it, etc. So I'm going to control copy. You can use a landing page. I'm not as familiar with landing pages as some other people. Sorry. So I'm going to use the Facebook lead generation form for sure, because then they're just auto collecting. Oh, you know what? I actually have to explain something to everybody. 1 second, so I hope I don't forget it. I always click learn more instead of sign up or apply now because it just makes more sense. And then I just showed you the website that I was going to send them to, but I did this twice. Okay, so does anybody on here know why it is better to go through this than to go onto Facebook directly?
Doesn't Keller Williams,
This is important.
doesn't Keller Williams have an arrangement with Facebook or whatever for this?
Yeah, so they do have an arrangement. And what is their arrangement?
I think it saves us lots of money.
Yes and no, or yes and yes and yes and yes. Anybody else? Okay, so it saves us lots of money because we're going to get people at a much lower spend. And the reason for that is the relationship that Keller Williams has with Facebook that nobody else has is that our spend from Keller Williams as a whole is what our spend comes from, which means Facebook will give priority to companies that spend a lot of money, right? The more money you spend, the higher your placement is, the more often you're going to be seen. All of that stuff is given to the people that spend the most money, right? That's logical. Facebook is going to give priority to people that spend the most money. So the thing is, Keller Williams has a deal with Facebook that any agent that posts is posting as Keller Williams, which is a part of the company, which means we get that same priority over everyone else because we are a part of over 160,000 agents that are spending money, right? So that spend is getting us to a much higher priority than if I was spending $20 on my own. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you were right. It does get us leads for less in that way.
And part of it is because they want our data as well, right? So, and they talked about that at Mega Camp, is part of the value is we have so much, and they, by the way, they own a lot of data anyway, and they are loving getting this data from us. So as much as we're tracking on our each individual business, they're going to be looking at this as a whole. And again, the cool thing about the partnership is, of course, they're going to share that with us. So as we're doing things, I just want to say, Erin and I are getting this started. We're hoping to inspire you. Your market centers will be able to give you some data. Check, connect, and so many of these resources, you guys, because you know there are so many people that are sharing lots out there, and you just don't need to start from scratch. So look for ideas that align with your image, your business, and all of those things on those resources. So sorry to interrupt, but I do think that that's important as well.
Yeah, it is, definitely.
And then one thing real quick is someone just asked like what if they have to leave, I don't know how these recordings work. I'm going to post on there my assistant's email, or you can always ask Erin, and we will, because we do record these sessions, by the way, too, for all of them if you miss one of the later ones. So sorry, go ahead, Erin.
No, yeah. So everything that you said is really valuable. Facebook groups, I cannot say more about them. And there's even some Facebook groups that they are sharing, right? If you go to the documents within the Facebook group, people are sharing their best practices, best campaigns, everything. So go to those, find those. Okay. So the last piece is the ads part, right? So I know I already clicked previously that I'm going on Instagram and on Facebook. I chose story. You have to go with your page. It is the business page. I want to use the Facebook lead generation form. You can always send them to a landing page. I haven't heard as good of feedback, but that doesn't mean you can't do it. Learn more is what the button, right? That's what the button is going to say. And then I have the follow-up URL. It's taking them straight to that page. So I don't want to target my database only. This is for other people. So this is important to know. You can just target your database. So when you're in Command and you're putting in contacts, you should be putting in their social media. I actually have to say there was a day that there was a glitch on Command a couple of days ago. I was trying to change addresses and it wouldn't let me save the address unless I put in a piece of social media. And I was like, ooh, this is really going to make me do that. It was just a day, so I stopped doing it, but I'm going to keep up with it. and we all should. Okay, but I'm going to target a custom audience. Yes, notice save as draft. I know, sorry. Thanks for your patience, everyone. And then I brought it down to 15. 15 is the short or the smallest radius because I really just want to target people that are here or around New York City, first-time home buyers, things like that. You can always put in anywhere, right? I could go into another country. That might be a lie. Let's see. What if we wanted to go to Rome, Italy? I'm like, we might as well just see if it'll go to another country. Italy, Texas, Little Italy, Arkansas. Okay, maybe not. But that's okay. You can go.
It does say where it shows where your markets are going. There is an app, so you can literally, as Erin's talking about, you can choose to put your ad in another area so that you can, if you know that those are where your buyers and sellers are either coming from or going to. So
yeah, why don't you talk about your Utah story? That's pretty powerful.
So I've had people that ask me to share their listings quite a bit. So we had an agent who asked me to share her listings, and we accidentally made a mistake and advertised it in her area. I meant to advertise it in mine, thinking that people in California love selling and moving to Utah. So I might get a seller. And instead we ended up getting her 39 buyer leads for $45. So a great way to build your referral relationships is by advertising one of your partner's listings. Great if you find someone that's selling in your area that would like to go there, but just a nice gift to give to someone. Thanks for the referral. Here are 39 leads for you. Instead of a bottle of wine.
You're welcome.
Yeah, instead of a vase, I got you some clients.
Right. So for the interest, I don't know if this is an interest, but I'm just going to try Instagram. Nope. Okay. So this unit has its own private park in the complex. So I'm going to click on health and wellness because I think they would like it. Anybody that has the interest in health and wellness. I don't know if luxury is a thing, but it's a completely gut renovated unit. So maybe that. And then I'm actually going to see anybody that has, you know what? I always put Zillow. Maybe I won't put Zillow this time. What's a good millennial interest? Anybody?
Dude, it's suffices. You get what I mean?
Don't shout all at once. What's a good millennial interest? Coffee? Yeah. Oh, I love that. Why not?
That's good. Yeah.
Was it amazing?
Come get, oh man. Nope.
And notice
we tried.
Special interest. She's really looking at the lifestyle personality of her buyer, right? She's targeting with the smile. So
there's lots of great restaurants. Do you say selfie? I love it. We're gonna try that next. Selfie. Okay, I'm Kardashian.
That's so funny. By the way, we also earlier we did, you could do house or investor. There's so many things that you could do. So definitely get creative.
I feel like music has to be sent. This is broken. How is music not, or maybe I have a space?
Photography.
What did you say?
Photography.
Photography. I like that. Yes, right? Grammable. Man, that was so smart. Thank you. And so notice how this says or and not and. If you do and, it means that the people I'm targeting, and this is just what I'm doing for this round. And so, you know, if you do and, it's they have to like photography and they like to have health and this and that. But if I do or these three, then I feel like I'm keeping, for me personally, I feel like I'm keeping it narrow enough because they have to like one of these, but broad enough that I'm able to hit, like you'll see this, it's 243 million, 125 million, and over $1 billion. Yay, photography. I feel like that's a large enough audience. All right, save Facebook and Instagram ads.
And I agree with you.
And then this bottom part is how much you're going to spend. So it starts the next day, and you have to do at least $1 a day. I usually don't do it for 10 days. I'm going to only do it, let's see, we'll start it on the 21st, and I'm going to do something, I'm going to have it end before Thanksgiving, because maybe we'll do something else like eat your turkey here. I don't know, for that. $30. I'll throw $30 at it. So look, it's going to distribute evenly across the 2 channels. If you uncheck this, you can say how much money you want to go to each channel. And at the end, it will actually show you the statistics of who came from which channel. So you'll be able to see. But I want them to.
You guys all need to do this, bring the data back, because if we all do it, we'll actually have a decent amount of data to see what's working, right?
Yeah. Use automatic placements. I don't know what that means. Facebook uses their algorithm to intelligently spend your money based on your audience. Yeah, why wouldn't I have them be smarter than me? Oh, now I don't know what any of this means. I'm just going to click that. I guess it takes me off of this. So maybe it's going to do what it wants with it. I'm going to try this. I'll bring back the data next time. Okay, save duration and budget.
And you guys, I just want to point out as she did this, notice that she has little check marks on each side. So that's how you'll know if that section is done.
Yeah, these check marks. And then this is the preview of what it's going to look like in the Facebook web carousel. This is what it's going to look like on the mobile. And this is what it's going to look like on this story. Oh, yeah, I don't know if I like it as much in the story, but that's okay. We're testing, right? See what our money does for us. Fabulous. And now, publish.
And then okay. Dance, Erin, then a happy dance.
And then create the campaign. We have new agents coming around. Hi. That's it. See, even with making like 5 big time-consuming errors, that took a half hour. Sorry. It will be much quicker for you now that you've learned from me. That's it.
Erin, I have a question.
I'm going to stop sharing.
How do you know that stories on Instagram are better than posts?
I'm going to show you.
Okay.
I'm going to stop sharing the screen. Oh, something went wrong. That's okay. I'm going to save it as a draft. Yes, I'll come back. You know what? And just so you know, this has happened before where something went wrong and I came in the next day, nothing went wrong. It was actually posting. Okay. Stop sharing. All right. When you are on Instagram, what do you see first?
Is that a picture of you? Frankly, I can't see. Are you asking like at the top?
That's okay. Yeah. Top.
Yeah.
Those are stories.
Oh.
So these are always going to be seen more. They're in front of people's faces more. And if you ever do a live, that live will cut in front of everybody else's. So lives are going to be seen the absolute most on Instagram and Facebook. Second is going to be stories. And then third are going to be your posts.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So, yeah.
That's a really cool point. And again, it'll be interesting to see as we're doing this data, and that's what's real. Isn't this cool, you guys, that we have the system? It's going to cost her $30 to advertise in 3 places, right? Very targeted and specific, and she's going to find out which thing is better. Again, talking about when you're in a seller, right? This is important to get the leads. And now when she's in these conversations with actual clients, to be able to convert at a higher level to say, hey, just so you know, this is what I do every day. I spend my day tracking this data so that I know that I'm the best agent to advertise your house. I don't know anyone else that has this kind of data. I mean, they just don't, right? There's no one else that has this kind of real live information on what's going on. It doesn't matter if someone was the top agent for the last 5 years. We're in COVID now. If they can't produce the stats on a daily and weekly basis the way that we can, there's no way that you can't outsell yourself. And I'm not even a super strong salesperson, but I believe that you could close that all day long, right? Showing that value.
I have a question about the story. Do you show the property, or do you show a picture of yourself, the agent?
Oh, in this story, it's going to be a carousel ad. So just so you know, it did go into pending review. I wonder if I can open it back up. If I can, I'll share my screen again and show you.
But in the past, when you've done it, was it a picture of the house that the people see?
So it's that same carousel.
Oh, okay.
Of those photos. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. Of the property.
Yeah.
I have a
Yeah.
For, you know, usually these ads, they go into command as leads. You get their first name, last name, email, and maybe phone number. Is that automatic, or we have to select a certain button on the ad setting?
Yeah, I can actually show you. I'll do this again. This will be easier. So when you get a lead, it's going to pop up right here, and it'll also pop up on your phone, on your Kelly app. It'll say you have a new lead, which is good. You want to call them right away, right? Think about how much more powerful it is when you have something pop up and then you're like, ooh, fabulous, call them. By the way, you literally just clicked on this. How can I help you with your real estate needs? Otherwise, again, it will pop up here and it's going to have a little red dot here if you haven't gotten to it yet. And then, oh wait, I take it back.
Looking at that, since we have people from international and people are watching this, this is the US version is a tiny bit different. So again, we have done this in other international classes. So they are creating these ads. It is a little different. So on those, you likely will have to bring in your own photos, and there are some things that are specific. So you can reach out to Erin or me. You can reach out to your regional trainers or someone from your market center. I just wanted to say that real quick before we, because thank you for staying because we're a little bit past time, and we're happy to stay. So we just want to make sure, I just wanted to make sure that to be specific on that. So sorry to interrupt, Erin.
No, please. So see, this was one that I did. It was completed. It was 4 days, blah, blah, blah. So it says 26 leads here. So you can just click on the lead list.
Thanks, Dan.
And it brings up everyone. So let's say you were like, oh my gosh, I just had an ad run for 2 days and I have 50 leads. Don't be afraid. You don't have to go through them one by one. You just click that one button and it brings you to all of them. And you can just dial on through. I think that was my favorite lead.
That's cool.
For us New Yorkers.
I'm like, oh my God, I just learned something new.
For those of you that got that. Okay. Is there anything else I can show you while we're on here with the leads?
You guys look at her stats, Erin. Show some of the stats so you can see the.
Yeah. So this is one that's pending. So it's nothing. This is my $10 lead. It was an expensive property. I'm not surprised. I guess that was a draft. This one had $3 leads. This one had $1.67 for the leads. And this one I did, see how this one says 2 channels? So this one, my Instagram got 0 leads. My Facebook it was $1.20 per lead. So when I said I feel like Facebook works a little bit better, I feel like it did.
Well, for lead capture, you also are getting exposure the other way. And again, you guys, you can screenshot this and put this into a listing presentation. So imagine once you compile your data, you literally can show this to sellers, right? This is really valuable.
Yeah.
You know, and it throws a question to anyone that you're competing with. Mr. Seller, I can show you, these are the stats that I can prove. I'm not sure if you've asked this from the other agents, right? That's just great questions.
Yeah, or even love you dearly, but even a more powerful way of saying that is like, I would like you to ask every other agent that comes in here what their stats are with their Facebook ads. Can you imagine?
Yeah, and instead of getting the houses in magazines all the time, we really need to, right, as we're talking about, we started this, Erin and I did, to cut expenses, right? We're going into COVID. Let's be as efficient as possible and sell homes for as low price as possible. So instead of getting yourself and selling your luxury magazine ad, you literally, for that same amount of money, can show proof of how many people, and there are very few people that that are going to be able to compete with that, in my opinion, especially now that we're in a pandemic.
Yeah. Any other questions, guys? Thanks for staying with us.
Yay. Thanks, you guys. So our next class, and feel free if you have a question that pops up, but our next class is going to be Friday, December 4th. So have a happy Thanksgiving, everyone. And that will be on how and why to build your referral business. So we're going to share lots. And then on the last class, Erin's going to teach us the database, and that's Wednesday. That's Wednesday, the 9th.
Hi, beautiful.
Of December. So we hope that everyone comes. Again, if you guys want recordings, ask Erin or me, and I put my information down. We'll be posting those out there, and then we'll be able to share if you missed a class. And please give us questions, and thank you for interacting for all of you that have. And for those of you that are shy, please feel free to email us or text us questions, because we want to make sure this is valuable.
Yeah, and bring back your numbers for your ads.
Yeah, serious accountability. Hi, Alex's little cutie.
Say hi, Patrice.
Hi.
Little
How
nugget.
are you?
You can get back down.
I know Alex should put like her on an ad, right? Get a kid to sell your house. How cute would it be if
Oh
she
my
said,
gosh.
"My daddy is selling this house. Click here for more info." Oh,
That's a good idea. I should do that.
You really should.
yeah. Then we can figure out which of our kids is most valuable. It's like, okay, 2-year-olds do better than 5-year-olds, do better than 14-year-olds.
I'll find a kid on the street. Like, pretend you're mine. Pretend you are hungry and mama needs to sell a home.
Actually, dogs and cats do. We're literally trying to be creative, so that might work out as well.
All right, awesome. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
See you next time.
I'm having a conversation with
Bye.
Good weekend.
Okay.
You too. Yeah. Great weekend.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. We're grateful that you guys came.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Erin.